Hello, my name is Carlos Lopez, and for my symposium project, I have selected the topic of gun violence in the United States. So my thesis is that gun violence in our country has become highly concerning in the past couple of years. It's reached high numbers in gun deaths, highlighting the need for stronger gun control laws across each state to reduce these numbers. By comparing countries like Japan and Australia that have implemented stricter gun regulations and seen a decrease in gun violence, it's evident that implementing similar restrictions can help improve safety and reduce gun violence. So here's a little video talking about this subject in recent years.
Today is the 150th day of 2023. So far this year, there have been 263 mass shootings reported in the United States. 327 victims have been killed in those incidents. Both those figures are the highest ever recorded this early in a year. Just over Memorial Day weekend, there were more than 20 reported mass shootings. Those resulted in the deaths of at least 16 victims and injured more than 90 victims. So with us now to discuss gun violence in this country is Adam Brown and David Pacino. Adam is the Vice Provost for Research and Associate Professor of Psychology at the New School. David is the Deputy Chief Counsel for the Giffords Law Center to Prevent Gun Violence. David, I want to start with you. Let's talk about why shootings this year seem to be more deadly. And is there anything that can be done? And, I'm just asking that question, thinking of a million different ways. But from your perspective, from your expertise, for them to be less deadly?
Well, I think there are three major factors that have led to this increase that we're seeing, not just this year, but this general pattern of increases in gun violence and mass shootings. One of them is the readily availability of weapons to people who shouldn't have them.
So this topic is obviously not a new topic. It's been a hot topic over the years, but recently it has just continued to increase with high rates. And this is due to the easy accessibility, as he had mentioned in the clip. So mass shootings, a recurring issue that has been increasing at alarming rates. Shootings have happened everywhere, including churches, schools, and public gatherings. 16 of the 20th deadliest mass shootings in modern history occurred between 1999 and 2019, and 8 of these 16 occurred between 2014 and 2019. The year with the highest number of mass shootings were 2018 with 9. Both of these quotes or information come from the National Institute of Justice, and we can make the assumption that this 20th century has been one of the deadliest, most violent. This is an act of terrorism, leaving communities in shock and creating an effect of fear and anxiety in our society. So these are the deaths from guns. The number of casualties in these shootings have also been increasing over the years. In the 1990s, mass shootings claimed an average of 8 lives per year from 2010 to 2019. At the end of the study period, the average was up to 51 deaths per year. And this came from the Institute of Justice. And from 2000 to 2022, 131 killed and 197 wounded in active shooter incidents at elementary and secondary schools. This quote came from the U.S. Department of Education. And these quotes just prove that active shooters show no remorse for age, as a lot of these came from elementary schools. So here's some of the gun control laws, and gives a little bit more explanation. So the government leaves it up to the states to decide their own requirements. This could either be to obtain a legal fire or to obtain a legal firearm, sorry. These include IDs, background checks, and concealed carries. The state with the strongest gun law strength was California, and this is due to the continuous gun safety laws imposed by their governor. Um, it still takes 8.5 deaths per 100,000 residents, but this is pretty low compared to other states. The state with the weakest gun law strength was Mississippi due to missing foundational gun laws in place, like requirement to get a permit before carrying a concealed handgun in public. And they take about 28.6 per 100,000 residents. Um, Studies like this can help prove that the need of gun reform across all 50 states proves to decrease gun violence rates by making it harder to get your hands on these deadly weapons. And then here's some of the data. You can see California is at the very top, and Mississippi is ranking 49. So now we will be comparing gun laws. So the country I want to focus on was Australia. And Australia's strict gun laws are a response to tragic events that occurred in the country. In 1996, Port Arthur shooting in the state of Tasmania, the gun violence left 35 people dead and 23 wounded. It was one of the deadliest mass shootings in Australia's history. After this, the National Firearm Agreement NFA established a buyback program for the government to buy back guns from their citizens. And Australians must provide a justifiable reason to carry a weapon. As you could tell from this database, it had very successful outcomes. So another country to focus on is Japan. Japan also holds very strict laws, but these laws are, and sorry about that. Japan also holds very strict gun laws that sometimes can even be seen as unfair. Only police officers and military can purchase any handgun or rifle. In 2018, a country of 125 million people only reported 9 deaths from firearms compared to the 39,750 in the US. And this came from Gan Nectar, NCNN reporter. And while many people think that these restrictions would be unconstitutional in the US, it is undoubtedly a great way to keep the gun violence rates low. So in conclusion, um, these studies by our institutes and colleges across the country leave no doubt that these laws in the United States need to be radically improved. Americans should not live with the sad reality of 51 lives a year being taken due to mass shootings. And I mean, studies like this that have been conducted on 50 states continue proving that states with the lowest rates of gun violence are also the states with the strongest gun control requirements. This proves that by updating strengths with gun laws, this can help keep guns from individuals who pose a threat and overall lower gun violence. It does not take 2020 vision to see the reality of our country, and while other countries get to live freely without concerns of tragedy striking at any time, we must constantly live in fear of gun landing on wrong hands. By approaching this issue like other countries have in the past, we can also experience life without violence. And we're excited, and thank you for your attention.